Are you thinking about making a move to Tennessee? If so, then you're gonna wanna check out this video because I'm going to be going over 7 reasons why you should consider actually not moving to the Middle Tennessee area. All that and more in today's video. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Martin and I am a local Nashville real estate agent and founder of the Caitlin Martin team, powered by 𝐋𝐈𝐊𝐄 Realtors, the Andrews Group. I specialize in working with savvy sellers who want to sell right and sell smart, as well as working with out-of-staters looking to relocate to the Middle Tennessee area. Now, if this is your first time stopping by my channel, thank you so much. Please feel free to click subscribe down below so that you are notified anytime I release new video content, which rolls out every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Central. Also, be sure to head on over to Instagram and follow me at Caitlin Martin Realtor, and you can follow my team Instagram at the Caitlin Martin team. There you'll find all things about Nashville lifestyle and real estate. So in today's video, I said I'm going to give you reasons to actually not move here. Kind of crazy, but we got to talk about it. So let's go ahead and dive on in. All right, so reason number 1 why not to move to the Middle Tennessee area is if you just absolutely love being taxed to death. Tennessee actually has no state income tax, and so that means that your money is going to go further. We also have lower property taxes. We sit in the lower third of property taxes across the US. So if you just love paying taxes, Tennessee's probably not for you. Number 2, if you hate people saying y'all. We say it and it's a part of our vocabulary, and guess what? If you move here, chances are it's gonna become a part of yours too. Even if you swear you'll never actually say it, you'll find yourself eating those words. Number 3, if you hate music. We are in fact Music City. Yes, we have an abundance of country music, but we also have music across all genres and artists of all genres that come through town on tour. So it's not just country music, but here's the thing. Head downtown and you will hear no shortage of music as you walk up and down Broadway. It's playing from the early morning into the wee hours of the morning. So if you hate music, Music City is not for you. Number 4, if you just absolutely hate freedom. Ever since 2020 rolled around, Tennessee has put into place laws that prevent businesses and schools from requiring things that were a result of what happened in 2020. So if you just absolutely hate freedom and you love a dictatorship, Tennessee's probably not for you. And then number 5, if you like to have fun, again, Tennessee and the Middle Tennessee area especially is probably not for you. Nashville has an abundance of an entertainment scene, of course country music, but we also have a lot of other entertainment as well. Not only that, but we've got professional sports teams that provide entertainment. We've become a foodie city. We have so many great restaurants. We have a lot of nature and nightlife. We've got so much happening in Music City. We really have the benefits of big city living without all of the problems that come with really big sized cities like LA or New York. So if you're somebody that just hates having fun and hates having a lot to do, again, Middle Tennessee might not be for you. Okay. I had to get that out there. In all seriousness, we actually are going to cover 7 things to really consider before you make a move to the Middle Tennessee area. So let's take a look at what those 7 items are. So up first is going to be the fact that we are a landlocked state. So I know that may seem pretty obvious if you're looking at a map, but it is something to take into consideration because if you are coming from somewhere where you can easily get to the ocean, it may make a difference depending on how much of a beach lover you are. Now, those of us in Middle Tennessee, it's not that we don't love the beach, we do. We actually, a lot of people in the Middle Tennessee area tend to go down to the Florida Panhandle. So places like Destin, Santa Rosa Beach, Rosemary, Panama City Beach. That is a very popular destination for people who live in the Middle Tennessee area. And it's not terribly difficult to get to. It can be about a 7.5, 8 hour drive straight down through Alabama to get there, or It makes it really easy because Southwest has direct flights that fly down there to both Fort Walton and Panama City Beach. It's just an hour flight, so as long as it's not canceled. If it's canceled, that's a problem. But as long as it's not canceled, it makes it really easy to get down to that area and vacation, and that is a really popular destination. In fact, if you maybe don't know a lot about the Florida Panhandle or that area, I did do a video on it last year. So if you want to take a look, just click right up here. It'll just kind of walk you through that part since it is such a popular destination for people who live here. Now, number 2, we do deal with the threat of severe weather, of tornadoes. And I know if you're coming from an area where you don't really deal with that, that can be a major concern. And so if you are somebody who is just absolutely terrified of tornadoes, maybe Tennessee isn't the right place for you. Now, no place in the world is going to necessarily be perfect wherever you choose to move. But here's the thing. We do deal with the threat, but I always tell people, kind of like, especially people that are coming from California, you know, in California, there's always kind of that looming threat of earthquakes, but the actuality of earthquakes is not, I mean, they're not happening every single day, right? So we do deal with the threat. If you really want to move to the Middle Tennessee area, but the tornado still just, it's a hard concept for you to wrap your mind around, and it does strike fear in you. The good news is there are storm shelter companies here that can build a storm shelter in your house so that you do have a great, safe, fortified place to go if and when we do deal with severe weather. And I do tell people, especially prior to 2020, I had been here like 7, 8 years at that point, and I think I had heard tornado sirens just maybe a handful of times, but hadn't actually dealt with the reality of a tornado. We did have one hit downtown Nashville in March of 2020, right before the world shut down. So Nashville kind of got like a 1-2 punch there. But we did deal with that. And that was one, it did cause death. It did cause a lot of damage and destruction. But if it helps kind of give you any sort of reference, a similar tornado of that size and that strength, I think the last one had been about 20 years prior, and it actually took nearly the same path. So do we deal with them? Yes. I know a lot of times, like on the Weather Channel, you can see tornadoes in, say, Alabama or Oklahoma, and they are these massive, massive tornadoes. We've been very thankful, knock on wood, that we haven't dealt with something quite that catastrophic. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm never going to say it is, but we're very fortunate in that it's not something that we are constantly dealing with. Is it a threat? Yes. Are there ways to take precautions? Yes. It's just, if you are somebody who is deathly terrified of tornadoes, then maybe the Middle Tennessee area just isn't the best fit for you. All right, number 3, really hot, humid summers. Now, I know a lot of places get hot and humid during the summers, but if you're somebody who's not used to humidity, it can kind of be a rude awakening. And I know that sometimes, especially people with breathing issues, the humidity can be a problem for them, especially when it's really thick. We kind of vary in our levels of humidity throughout the summer. I know back in the summer of 2022, it felt like it was hell's front porch out there. It was so hot. You know, normally we're not topping out at like triple digit temperatures throughout most of like June, July, and August. Like, that's not really standard. Like, can we hit them a few times? Sure. But it felt like we were sitting right there at like triple digits for most of June, July, and August last year. Fall was such a welcome relief. But if you're somebody that can't deal with humidity, if you're somebody that maybe has breathing issues that the humidity could affect, that is something to take into consideration. Now, the worst of it typically is just 2 months out of the year. But again, I know that different people have different situations. So if you do not think you can handle humidity, I would challenge you to at least just come here during the summer. See if a weekend trip, can you handle it? If so, great, then keep it on your list of places to move. But if not, then maybe Tennessee is just, at least the Middle Tennessee area in particular, maybe it's just not the best fit for you. But again, you know, we absolutely deal with hot, humid summers. It just varies in its intensity from time to time. Oh, and I do tell people, The best way to get through our summers is to be near water, whether you have your own personal pool, a neighborhood pool, whether you get out on the lakes around town. It's always best to be as close to water as possible because then it does make it far more enjoyable if you have a way to cool off. But again, something to consider is our hot, humid summers. Okay, number 4 is gonna be traffic. Here's the thing. I'm very well aware that we do not have traffic on the same level of cities like New York, Chicago, LA. We do not have traffic like that. Have we seen an uptick from everybody moving here? Yes, we have, but it's still not horrible getting around. It's just our infrastructure was not built to handle the traffic that we have now, which does make it tricky, right? Because you'll have an on-ramp and then within 1/4 of a mile, you have an exit ramp. And so if you've got 4 lanes of traffic and you got people over here trying to come over, or someone's trying to come on while others are trying to get off, it's a mess. And I will say, Interstate 24, the worst interstate in Nashville. Hands down, the worst. It's like people think it's the Wild Wild West on Interstate 24, especially between Nashville and Murfreesboro. Again, not unmanageable. It's just you kind of have to be a little bit more mindful because there are absolutely crazy drivers on 24. But again, we deal with traffic. If you're looking for less traffic, you know, maybe another city is a better fit for you. Just know we definitely deal with traffic, but it's not like you're sitting in a parking lot, not going anywhere for a long, long time. That's not it at all. It's just rush hour times, you're still dealing with it. And if there's an accident, that makes it worse. But overall, do we have traffic? Yes. Is it on the scale of big cities? No, but it definitely is an inconvenience, especially if you're somebody that hates traffic like I do. All right, up next, bugs. I know I've mentioned this in another video before, but here's the thing. I grew up in Virginia. I've been in Nashville 10 years now. The bugs in Virginia are no different really than the bugs here in the Middle Tennessee area. But if you're coming from somewhere like the West Coast, apparently we have a lot of bugs compared to the West Coast. And most of the time they're not harmful bugs. Now, I know that in other parts of the country, people deal with things like scorpions. Thankfully, that is not a concern here. Very thankful for that one. Now, we do kind of have a trade-off because you can see snakes around in the springtime, which hate them. Absolutely hate them. But again, it's not like they're attacking your house or anything like that. But apparently we do have more bugs, which means more mosquitoes. So you do have to be really careful in the summertime. Just make sure that you have some bug spray on because otherwise you could end up getting your legs bitten up. And of course that's not fun. And being itchy all the time is just not a fun feeling. So we've got bugs. If you hate bugs, might not be the right place for you. Second to last, allergies. So here's the thing. I went to school at the University of Tennessee. And so moving there from Virginia, I very quickly, because Knoxville sits in kind of this bowl in terms of terrain. And so you've got the mountains that come in and then it just kind of sits a little bit lower. And just kind of with some of the pollutants in the air in Knoxville, at least when I was there over a decade ago. Yeah, when I was there, I did find that I got sinus infections like that. And so I just knew every time I went back to campus after a summer at home, I had to take a Z-Pack with me because otherwise I was gonna get a sinus infection that spiraled out of control, which it did freshman year. Now here in the Middle Tennessee area, you can certainly deal with allergies, especially if you're not used to it, just with all of the nature that we have around. I do know that a lot of times when people come from other parts of the country that maybe aren't used to what we have in terms of our grass and our pollen, it can certainly kick up people's allergies. So if you're somebody that already struggles, you know, I don't know if it'll make it worse or maybe the change in location would make it better, but I do know, and I have heard complaints about when people move here, they do experience allergies, but again, it's normally not anything that Allergy Med can't help remedy. And then last but not least, if you can't deal with so many other people moving here, Nashville has become a really popular relocation town, which has brought a lot more people to the area. It's drawn businesses to the area, which brings more jobs. There's a lot going for Nashville, but maybe you're somebody that you just don't want to be where everybody else is going, and that's okay. But Nashville, we're continuing to be on an upward trajectory, and we are expected to have another 200,000 people here by 2025 and another 1 million to the state of Tennessee by 2040, with 57% of that landing here in the Middle Tennessee area. So if you just can't stand the idea of everybody else coming, might not be the right place for you. But here's the thing, y'all. That's my list. But overall, I absolutely love it here. I have people ask me all the time, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? And I wouldn't go anywhere. Are there places that I would love to go vacation or travel to? Absolutely. But I truly love living here. And a lot of times people ask me why. And I mean, there's so much to name between the beauty of the area. I just love it. I love everything about the Nashville area. For the most part, like I said, traffic, not a fan. Storms, don't love them. Snakes, absolutely not. But I think my favorite thing just about this area is the people. And that is a question that people have asked me, is like, well, okay, with everyone moving here, is it changing the culture of Nashville in a negative way? Because Nashville has been named the friendliest city in America. And the great news is, at least so far, no. And that's the thing that people, even now when they come to visit, they still say, everybody is just so friendly. We have this great sense of community here. I know I've mentioned this in previous videos before, but when we did deal with the tornado back in March of 2020, there were so many people in the community that turned out to try to volunteer and help people clean up and just help people get through. They actually had to turn volunteers away because with all of the added people trying to come in and help, it was going to do more damage and cause more obstruction, especially in this first few days, than it was going to cause good. But Nashville is a really tight-knit community with just really good-hearted people, a great sense of community. Nashville is also beautiful. There's so much to do here. So if you are thinking about making a move to the Middle Tennessee area, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself and my team. We would love to assist you in making that move. If you're ready to start that conversation, you can actually book a Zoom discovery call with me. The link is down below. If you're not ready to start that conversation just yet, that's okay too. I do have a free Nashville relocation guide down below. Again, my name is 𝐋𝐈𝐊𝐄. I'll see you next time.